This is Alevan, and I review fan fiction so you are spared of reading it yourself. If there is one sadistic hobby I have, it is reading fan fiction. It doesn't matter whether I am in the fandom or not, I'll read it just to find bad pairings, good pairings, the male pregnancies. I have no idea why this is a fetish, and alternate dimension stories, and the list goes on. Now, please remember that I have nothing, and I mean nothing, against people who write to tell their versions of the story based on their favorite television show or video game. It's just that a good 90% of the time, they just suck. Once in a blue moon, I find a really good fanfic that captures the characters well, tells a great story, and makes whatever strange plot point work. Unfortunately, there aren't many out there. So, without further ado, I will review my first fanfiction. Welcome to A Dark Valentine, a Harry Potter fanfic. This really made my eyes bleed. For one, I don't know why people like the Voldemort/Harry Potter pairing. What's so sexy about it? It's a boy getting it on with a dark wizard that looks like a humanoid snake. There is absolutely nothing sexy about the pair, and wouldn't Voldemort try to kill Harry before even dare to think of sex? After all, Harry Potter was the very reason why he lost his body in the first place. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So, we start off with the author's notes about her desire to put Harry and Voldemort alone in a hole and see what happens. Yeah, because obviously they'd hate each other so much that they make out in a corner. Ugh. So, our story starts out with Harry being betrayed by his friends for absolutely no reason and stuck with a nameless companion. I guess, but they don't say who it is until much later. But anyway, getting my head itself again. Apparently, Voldemort is also a douchebag and decided to attack the school on Valentine's Day. Why? This was never explained. Just that he attacked in the morning and they dueled in front of the school, and luckily no one knew about this. I could make a whole debate about this idea, but then I'd be giving this story too much credit. So, moving on. But wait! What's this? A hole appears in the ground and Dumbledore pushes the Dark Lord in. And Harry Potter too. But upon falling in the hole, he learns that the wizarding world did not need a hero, and they sealed them to their deaths. Wow, just wow, a hole, covered up, and the excuse was his wand fell away as to not to be able to get out? None of that makes sense. For one, do they honestly think that they could lock down the Dark Lord of all things in a hole with the only boy that could not only save them all, but serving him on a plate for this evil thing to kill? Oh, okay. Maybe I'm reading into this a bit much, so moving on. So, Lord Voldemort and Harry are stuck in a hole with no way out. Somehow. Harry has no way to defend himself. Will Voldemort kill him and get the revenge he seeks? Will Harry Potter magically find his wand and an epic duel will occur? No, instead, Voldemort decides to hit on Harry Potter and offer him a position on his side. Okay, so maybe this concept is kinda neat. After all, Harry Potter had Muggle parents who treated him badly, and such resentment would be something I could see Voldemort taking advantage of. However, I don't see him offering him a position to be a freaking bedmate and expect Harry to go, "You killed my parents and continue to try to ruin my life, as well as murdering everyone with views I don't agree on, yet you're offering me a position to get revenge. But if I let you screw me senseless every night, that everything will be sugars and rainbows. Okay, no! No! No, no, no! That does not happen! It just doesn't! That never makes sense in the story! It's a poor freaking excuse! Excuse! So a year goes by with the idea that Harry and Voldemort could be dead. Yeah, because putting two powerful wizards in a hole with magic wards over it is so going to keep them from getting out. Not surprisingly, they are all proven wrong when the Dark Lord comes bursting in with his brand new sidekick named Raven. God, I could come up with a better name than Raven. That sounds more like a name for a Gary stew, but we won't go there. So everyone pretty much dies, and it skips to, well, we're treated with a very quick and very poor written, how do game of cards! Yes! We'll call it a game of cards, right? So our villains lie in bed, lamenting on how they'll torture douchebag Dumbledore and everyone else in such delightfully evil ways. It ends with a beautiful marriage proposal. The end. There is so many things wrong with this story. The plot is lame, the characters don't even act anything like themselves, and the whole idea of Voldemort and Harry trapped in a hole and see what happens plot just doesn't work. They wouldn't do that, they'd kill each other. They wouldn't go play cards or team up to take over the world. Furthermore, Dumbledore nor his friends would ever betray like that. There isn't even a reason to explain why. Why would they do that to Harry after knowing him for their whole lives? This fanfic just sucks. Anyway, that's my review of it, and I'll be doing this at my own leisure. Got a good or bad one you want me to review? Just send me the link in a private message, and I'll give it a read. Do note, I will not link to these stories, nor give the names or authors or anything. You're just gonna have to find it yourself, because I do not promote and trolling any of these people, because I'm just doing it at my own leisure, nor am I doing it with their permission. So with that in mind, see you in the next review. Oh God.